Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday. Another cool day here in Florida. That's okay. So today I fell in love with this set, this Darling Donkeys, when the SAB catalog came out, and I knew I had to have it. Of course, one of the reasons is because every time I say my name to somebody, they always say, "You mean like hee haw, but backwards?" So I thought this would be a particularly cute set for me to have and use. So in the Celebration catalog, you can see that they put together a group of things that would be 6225 that would include the enamel dots, some cardstock, the designer series paper, a couple of the Stampin' Blends, and a Memento ink pad. So that's one, and certainly if you got all of that at the 6225, then you would be eligible for the free stamp set. So this is one of those that for every $50 you spend, you get to pick something out of the catalog, and this is one of the free sets when you reach that $50. So let's look at some of the cards that we can make from this. So I'm going to actually suggest a little bit different kit. Okay, so in the big catalog, there is a set of 10 of these cards and envelopes that match, that are in the in colors. And it's $11, and that includes, like I said, the card base itself and the envelopes that match. I would then suggest that you get the designer series paper. This comes in 6x6, and it comes in all the same 5 colors. So all of these colors will coordinate with the cards and envelopes. And then I would suggest for $15 that you get the 5 markers, because then you can use those to stamp or to color. Beyond that, I would say the enamel dots, again, same 5 colors, and these are fun. I'll show you how to put some of those on some cards. And then probably a pack of the sponge daubers, which is just $5. So that comes to $50.50, and with shipping and handling and tax, it would ship directly to you for $59.44. Now, my only modification, if you will, is that instead of the enamel dots, if you wanted some of this white crinkled seam binding ribbon, that's $7.50, so that would actually make your total right at exactly $50, and with shipping and handling and tax would be $58.85. And this is if you live in Pinellas County, so that's a 7% tax. All right, so let's look how we would use these things and make some cards. All right, so I have 2 that are kind of halfway made, and then I will show you a couple more. So here's one with the little guy on the front, and I colored him with the marker, but I also stamped him with the marker, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So on the inside, let me just get a little organized here. So let me first tell you, the crinkle ribbon, as with any of our white ribbons, can be colored, and you can color it with the sponge daubers and ink. You can color it with the markers, and that's what I did in this case. I just took my pen and colored this, colored the ribbon. So don't forget, on any of our white ribbons, you can do that. And that's the little piece of ribbon that is here, is the crinkle ribbon. In order to stamp the little guy, I stamped him in the cinnamon, and I'm going to stamp something for the inside as well. So I think I will stamp. Where did I put my stamp set? Right here. Gotta have the stamp set to stamp, right? So I think I'm gonna, because it's me, I'm gonna put hee haw. All right, so just all you have to do is color like this on the stamp, and then usually huff on it. So put your hot breath on there and then stamp. Okay, so that'll be one, and then I have one more I was going to do, and I think I'm going to put part of this little donkey here because he's adorable. Get that back out of the way. All right, so again, I'm just going to color him. You can see, if you turn it sideways, you can see where the ink gets kind of shiny where the ink is picked up. But because it may or may not take you a little while to do this, you don't want any of the ink to have dried. So that's why you always just bring it up and blow a hot breath on there. Whoops, of course I dropped them, but you get the idea. Okay, so then I would put these two, and here's another way to use some of your designer series paper. I would just attach these on the inside of the card. Okay, and I'm going to show you some coloring ideas here in just a second. Okay, so here's another one. This one, instead of using the ribbon, see I use these little enamel dots. It just gives a little something to the card. All right, and for this one I thought, well, I would still, when you open these cards and it's just this big expanse of white, sometimes that's a little intimidating because you think, gosh, I don't have that much to write. So if you can put some kind of either stamp in the inside or put some designer series paper, then it's just not so overwhelming. All right, so if I want to take this and make a frame, and I've already cut it, it's 4 by 6 right now. And if I want to take it and make a frame, I want to just maybe make a 1-inch frame. So I'm just going to cut out 1 inch all the way around. And the nice thing about this is all you need is your paper trimmer. You don't need a big shot or a punch or anything else. You just need a paper trimmer. So I'm just lining it up using this line here to show me 1 inch. And then this, of course, to show me 1 inch. And I'm just cutting out the middle of this designer series paper, which I could then use on another project. All right, and if you end up with a little piece that's not quite cut, you can snip it with your scissors, but see how easy that was just to make a frame? And like I said, this piece I will use on another card. Let me get that out of the way. So then I would put this on the inside, and then I'd stamp it's your birthday or something. You could even stamp another one of the little donkeys over here. So again, makes it so it's not just such a wide expanse. And you can see these envelopes match the cards. Really nice. Okay, so let's do some stamping with this one, or some coloring, I should say. All right, so I went ahead, I was going to make this one in the pink and the blue. And I thought, let me bring this back in. I thought I would put one of those flags on the inside, like I showed you how to do before. So let me go ahead. I'm just going to score this while I've got the cutter out. Again, another way, because you're going to get a whole pack of this 6 by 6 paper. So you certainly want to use it in as many ways as you can. So that's there. So and then I cut a piece. See, and the cards have this white already there if you wanted to use that as a frame. And then attach some designer series paper there, kind of as a mat also. That's what I'm going to do on this card. All right, and then I stamped this little guy in blue. All right, so how do I want to color him? Well, I think the easiest way, I have a couple little sponge daubers out here. Here we go. Would be not to take the marker, because to me that's too dark. I wanted to use something that was a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to take my block and I'm going to color a little bit on here. Okay. Well, I actually should have gotten out my mask first. All right, so I cut out, I stamped the little guy on a Post-it note, and I cut out the parts that I might want to color. All right, so then I'm going to just put this on here. All right, so all I'm going to do now, put these on your finger, I'm going to pick up some color, and I'm going to just swirl the color around. It's a nice way to use your marker, other than just coloring directly. Just put a little bit of ink on your block, and then that way you can pick it up with your sponge doll. Okay, see how cute that is? And then I might take my marker and actually color the top of the ears, maybe the hooves, and the tail, and the little top knot there. All right. And then again, since you've got your markers, I would color in the rose and here. All right, so now I can put this little guy right here on the front and see, it just adds a little something. I would probably also quickly putting this on here, add a couple of these enamel dots on this one. Now you could just as easily, like I said, add you could put some ribbon around this or something if you really wanted to. Oh, I love these little dots. Oops. Someone's always going to give me trouble when I'm on here live, though. You know that. And that's okay. All right, so I might put three more down there. I don't know. All right, so now I'm going to take my paper that I was going to put on the inside. I'm just folding it back and forth. And my bone folder, my very well used and loved bone folder. Just use that to make all my folds because I'm going to have this right in here. All right, so this is not going to be a very big one. Like, we had longer ones before, but this paper is only 6 inches wide. So I'm just going to have two little mountains there. All right, so I'm going to attach the one side. You can do this with liquid glue if you like. You're just going to have to hold it for a minute. Oops. Okay, and I'm going to attach that right about just inside the fold, like that. And then remember to always just put the adhesive on the other side here and then close the card so that it winds up in the right place. Okay, and then that will be your little flags when it opens. And I had 2 pieces of paper here somewhere. Huh. Oh, there they are. All right, so I think then that I would do hi there, friend, and it's your birthday. So this one I will probably do in the blue. So again, we're just going to color with the marker. You can do this with any of your markers on any of your stamps. And this one. You can also, like here, if I want to color one word blue and the other's pink, you can do that with the markers. It's a little harder to do if you're trying to use an ink pad. See, doesn't that come out cute? And then, again, just in the interest of time, I'm just going to trim these. I would probably put them in my trimmer and get them nice and straight. But since we're just playing here, I would do this and then get a piece of probably my blue paper, make a little mat. And if you do it in your trimmer, you're going to get it exactly straight. And then attach these here. Hey there, friend, it's your birthday. Okay, I would mat that one also, just in the interest of time. Well, actually, that's the right size, isn't it? And then I would attach those both in there. So again, you've used your designer paper. The whole inside, you've just got room to sign over here, but you don't have that whole expanse of white that you have to do something with when you open the card. All right. So let's do one more my workspace gets cluttered so easily. Okay, so on this one, I think I want to put some strips of all of these other colors. So these are the 5 colors, okay, that are in the end color. So I'm just going to take the trimmer and I'm going to trim off 1 inch for the outside and 1 inch for the inside of each color. It'll make sense in a minute what I'm going to do with it. I like to, there's usually just designer series paper left over when you finish doing whatever project you are. So it's very nice if you can use it in different ways. That's why I say use some of it on the inside of the card. We don't usually think about doing that. Or use some of it on your envelope, or make a couple of mats or something like that. All right, so now on this card, I don't know if I want any particular order. I'm just going to take the paper. I'm going to start at this edge. Okay. Then I'm going to go, you know what, this is going to, because it's 1 inch, that will actually take up the whole front of the card, which is fine. I was thinking I was going to do this over just the one side, but this will actually be there for the whole front of the card because I did a 1 inch. And then I had a piece cut, here we go, that I was going to use on the front. So on this one, I think that I will stamp again this little guy. And since the back of the card, since the card itself is blue, I think I'm going to use the blue. Although we know there's no blue donkeys, it's still, I think he still looks cute in blue. And I'm sure I will be making this little guy lots of different colors. If you miss a little place, I'll show you what to do. Again, I hop on it. I'm going to stamp him. And if there was a place that wasn't quite colored in, just take the small edge and fill it in once you get that. All right, so on this one, I think I will use my trimmer. Since it's wider, I don't feel so confident to just use my scissors. So I'm not usually very good at making it straight, but you know what? It's homemade, so hopefully nobody's complaining. I hope not. All right. So now, again, I could color him in the same way that I did before. Let's see, I have a little mask set up. There we go. So again, I'm just leaving open those areas that I want to color with the dauber. You know what, this time I think I will color him brown, just so you can see you can outline in one color and color in another. Just love this little guy. Okay. And then I would take my pen and still give him some darker highlights here, just to kind of accent a little bit, you know. And you could give him a little pink snouter there or something if you wanted to. And then I'm going to say, it's your birthday. I don't remember what color I used before. I did use the blue. So maybe I'll just use the blue again. But you see, this is like you get 5 colors without having to get the ink pads, and you can use them to stamp, or you can use them to color. So then I would probably take the one of these colors, doesn't matter which one, and I would mat it and put it on here so that he's sitting there on the front. And then on the inside, you could do the same thing with the 4 pieces. Okay, line those up on one side, or you could, I think this is what I'm going to do, line it up so you have just a place to write here in the middle, and I would stamp maybe another little donkey or something on this side. Okay, so a couple of ways to use our designer paper. You can use it just in strips like we did here. You can use it to be, your flag on the inside of the card. You can use it as a mat here on the outside. You can cover the whole front with a couple of different colors if you like to. You can then color your donkey with the marker just as it is, or you can use a mask and use the sponge daubers. So you get a light and a dark contrast there. So the only other thing I wanted to do was to share with you a couple of other donkey cards. This was one that I had made for a swap, and it's just our little flip, the flip-flop card like we've done. And I thought that he just really turned out really cute. And then this one I just got in the mail yesterday from Kathy, and I just loved this. So this is using some of our new paper that's in the mini, which has that like metallic sheen, and we're just kicking 2020 to the curb now and into 2021. Another thing is that this paper, if you don't like the donkey, this paper and the card sets and everything are really nice. I had received a couple of cards using this as well with some different paper. So same card, but just different paper, and I think they're just beautiful. This one. Okay, and again, they colored this ribbon, I would imagine, with the marker, because I don't know if we have, or maybe we have